Oh my god. So Dom, how's it going today? Don't forget to click.
No, that's fine. It's funny. It's comedy. Come on.
Yeah. Alright, so guys, today we're gonna have a podcast about the generation gap.
I'll be playing Bioshock for some of it. He'll be
I'll be
playing
playing some
Anthem
Anthem
for
for some
some
of
of
it.
it. We figured we would kind of try and discuss the gap because clearly there's a let's see, you're almost 20, right? And I'm almost
Yeah.
50. There's a 30-year gap,
Yeah.
a 30-year age difference between me and my buddy over here. All right. So think
Yeah.
about that. 30 years difference, but we still play. We're still like buds, and it doesn't seem
Yeah.
like there's much of it. There doesn't seem like there's much of an age difference between us, is there?
Not really mentally. I mean, yeah, mentally, yeah, not
I don't
really.
know if that's a good thing or not.
I don't know. Physically, I mean, I can go skateboarding and you can't.
No, I can go skateboarding. I just can't skateboard like I used to when I was a young girl. When I was a
Yeah.
youngster.
Sad part of getting old.
Well, this it's not that I'm getting old. It's just that here it is. As we progress with age, what is that on my TV set?
That? I don't
Oh,
know.
it's not on the TV set.
What is
Not.
that?
I don't know if it looks weird. Hang on.
Oh, you're broadcasting Bioshock. You're good. You're good.
No, hang on. I think I got a dead spot in my TV.
Uh-oh.
No, it's the. Oh God, it's the video
What?
game. It has to be. There's a black spot on the back bottom left corner of my TV set in this video game. But
Uh,
hang on. When I click the TV set, hello, and the bottom menu
you
comes
back?
up, everything's lit up, so it has to be the video game.
Okay, yeah, it's a video game. I was like, oh no, no.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, generation gap. Okay, so
Yeah.
things that I see as the gap between you and me is the special snowflake syndrome, and the
Oh yeah,
the
for
cry
sure.
closets, and
Yeah.
the oh God, do I say this out loud? The general whimpery of the generations, the youthful generations of
Yeah.
today. All right, now so
Say it.
say, I mean, the pussiness. We can say, well, that's right to that. The pussiness of them. And I mean, and that's fine. I'm entitled to that opinion.
Yeah, everyone is.
You guys, you didn't play after dark. You didn't go outside
Oh
and
no, I
play after
did.
dark.
I did.
You didn't go jump in mud puddles.
Yes, I did. No, I grew up with so my I've told you about my dad. He's a
Mm-hmm.
lot older than most people's parents. See, I we were out like when that light turned on outside on weekdays, get your ass
Yes,
home.
inside. Better
But it
inside.
was weekends. It was
Aw.
like go out till 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. Go party, have a good time. Like he's like just don't get in trouble. And we're like
Don't go to
okay.
jail. Whatever happens, don't
Yeah,
go
he's
to
like don't go
jail.
to. Like, I remember like Ding Dong. I don't even see kids playing Ding Dong Ditch no more.
Hell
I
no.
remember as kids, right? We were pretty fucked up. We would, no, no. Yeah, hear me out, hear me out. So we one time we were playing Ding Dong Ditch, right?
Yeah.
And we had this one neighbor. We didn't like him very much. Don't know why. Don't remember. But we knock on the door and we have our friend. He just has a hoodie on and he lights a stink bomb and throws it inside and he runs and we're like, oh shit, we're getting in big trouble. And the guy was just mad, but he was laughing too. He was like, "You gotta love them kids, man. They make you fucking think." But
If you think about
no,
it,
what I was go ahead.
when I was young, ish. See, the difference is that that like when I was, let's see, we'll go with when I was 13. All right, I used to hang out at the most obscure, bizarrely places in the known universe.
Arcade.
No, library.
Oh, I
Out in the
remember
middle
those.
of Go out in the middle of fucking BFE out by a creek. watch my band of merriment from the subdivision blow shit up, make rope swings, burn shit,
Yeah.
do drugs because that's what you did in the 80s. Kids smoked a lot of pot,
About the flower power.
and then smoke cigarettes because they all thought they were cool. And then somehow magically, you're gonna love this. My friend Bobby Winter, love you, brother, forever and ever, best friends we ever had. Remember, you told me that. Um, basically said to me, we did a lot of fucked up shit. It's like, but whenever anybody got hurt, scraped, or bruised, we all came to you. Like, it's like, yeah, why was that? He's like, because you're the smartest one out of all of us. He said, shit, you're still the
He's like,
smartest
you're the
one.
one who would give us the real medicine instead of us burning ourselves with the other stuff we thought was medicine.
Well, they said basically, they said, if anybody got hurt, we knew that you know how to fix it. I'm just like, dude, I'm like 13 years old. I know absolutely nothing. And then
I
they
know
all like,
jack about shit.
and then yeah, basically, and they're like, yeah, but you know what? You knew more than the rest of us did. You stayed out of trouble, you went to school. I was like, yeah. Like, you speak how many languages? And he said, yeah, that doesn't mean anything. They're like, no, it shows that your brain functions at a higher capacity than ours ever will, is what he said to me. And this is a guy that, my friend Bobby, and I wish we were still hanging out today, but I don't know, he turned into a raging alcoholic in his adulthood. He was in the Air Force, all kinds of stuff, and he, kind of weird talking to him, kind of not weird, and everything else like that, but it was kind of an interesting concept, the fact that he said, I told my son about you guys, I still talk about the best friends I ever had in my whole life was you and your family, you and your brothers. That through thick or thin, no matter what transpired, if I called you guys were there. He's like,
Yeah.
he's enrolling in droves. He's like, it's like, you were the little dark kids of the neighborhood that nobody liked you because you guys weren't white. And that's exactly what he said to me. He said, you guys weren't white. We're white enough for that neighborhood. Think about that.
So I remember when I was growing up, like, and it's weird because like I'm in the pussy gap I am, but I'm half in and out. My dad tells me, he's like, you're in it, you're not in it. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like you're born in the year, but mentally, you growing up, you weren't there. And I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, because I was always good, but people like cry left and right now about everything. I was raised to be like, hey, if you don't like it, just be quiet about it. Like, it's your opinion. Like, unless it's something really wrong and bad, then yeah, speak about it. But like people, like I find it weird now when I hear guys talk about like they're like, oh, I need to talk about depression and stuff. I was raised where it's like, hey, you're depressed, yeah, shut the fuck up and deal with it. Just don't kill yourself. That's how I was raised. And I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. And I find it weird, like a lot of people are like, I need to cry and I need to make mistakes.
No,
everybody needs to know, and I'm like,
it's one of those things where it's like, I talk about, this is the thing. I was raised in the same capacity. I just didn't want to talk about anything with anybody. I just grew to the point where I just, my friends and I, oh, they're all boy crazy. I was just looking at them like, yeah, you're a statistic waiting to happen. You're a statistic waiting to happen.
I didn't do any. I wasn't even girl crazy. It was like I had a lot of girlfriends, or I had a lot of female friends that I would do stuff with. But like, I'm not in like, I wasn't like you know how young guys usually are. They're like, oh, girl, titties, boobies, everything. I'm like,
Wait for it. I'm waiting for you to say the one thing. I'm gonna get my dick sucked. I'm like, dude, you ain't got anything to suck at that age. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, like I wasn't really about that. I was like, we'll hang out, skateboard, water parks, fairs.
Yeah, because remember, you got California living. You grew up in the California universe. I didn't grow up in the California universe. Remember that?
Yeah, no, I grew up over here. I still am over here. But I grew up more in like an old school type of neighborhood kind of. Even though we're newer generation, like I grew up with the old times. Like we're gonna go to parks.
Corvus wants us to search for an agent in this area.
We're doing fucked up
I'll
shit.
start tracking their link.
We're climbing trees, building forts, this and that. We're doing stuff. And I ask people about it now, and they're like, "Oh, I never did that." I'm like, "You never did that as a kid? Like, how you're the same age as me?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What did you do?" They're like, "Well, play dates and this. I'm like, play dates? What? And yeah, it's kind of weird that a lot of people my age like haven't done the things that I've done, but I haven't done some of the things they've done. But it's weird, like watching them, like, you guys done any of this? They're like, nope, and I'm like, why? Like, you missed out, man. Like, oh, it's just weird.
And that's the thing too. You need to remember is that this is the one thing I'm going to say it out loud is that it makes you wonder, socioeconomic backgrounds and how things have changed thus forward. Meaning that either you are have or have not, or rich or you're broke. There is no middle class anymore.
Yeah, there isn't.
The concept of it doesn't exist. Either after breaking your back to keep up with the Smiths and the Joneses, I gotta have the new Xbox Series X, or else I'm not good enough to play with everybody else. Or for like some of my friends, bless their souls, and I know that I have friends still on 360, and I know that they just
same here.
they just don't want to keep buying new console after new console after new console. I get it. I get tired of it too. That's why I haven't.
Yeah,
I didn't jockey for that Series X yet.
I love I love my Xbox One S. People are like, it's One S though. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It plays games. Like, it doesn't matter. Like to me, all these consoles are only about higher graphics and better hard drive space. That's all it is. And of course, there's other stuff in it too, but those are the main. The main thing is graphics. Always is and always.
That's hot.
I'm adjusting the video.
But
so let's see if I get sick playing this game.
Hold on.
On the Bioshock?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. The new one that I just downloaded, the remastered, the graphics is gorgeous.
Gorgeous? It's like they're crisp, clean, and good?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Nice. Yeah, no, it is weird though. I remember now it's kind of weird because I see my nephews and my cousins and stuff. And my nieces, whatever. I call everyone that's my cousin, my niece now, or my nephew. They're like, why? I'm like, because we're family. Like, yeah, you say cousin, you say nephew, niece. Like, oh, like, weird. Like, but it's weird. Like, all they want to do kind of now is just play. They don't want to go outside or anything. Like, some of them do, but a lot of them now don't want to do anything. I'm like, outside is like the best place to go, man. Like,
well, here's the thing: if you don't go get dirty, you don't go play out in the dirt, you don't go out and play out in the sun. You don't get exposed to environmental hazards.
There we go. Almost done.
You don't
I
build immune system. You don't build immunity.
You're moving out of range.
Yeah. Like I remember, it's weird. I remember a lot of kids when I went to school. They used to I hate being sick. I'm like, I love being sick. They're like, why am I'm missing school. I'm eating ice cream. I'm getting taken care of. Like, I'm a king right now. This is the shit. And now people are like, I don't want to get sick. I don't want a fever. I don't want a cold. I'm like, what?
I can see those reports for
What the hell?
I didn't want to get sick either, but guess what? If you didn't get sick, you didn't have immunity. That's what the whole thing with COVID's about. I mean, think about how many people are getting sick from it.
That was millions upon millions.
Think about the kids that are getting sick with it and dying from it.
Yeah.
Why is that happening?
No outside?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm watching the cutscene.
It's cool. But about
We've got more
you know what is weird now though too about school? I've noticed like a lot of kids think they get away with everything in school now. I'm not in school no more, but like I noticed a lot of kids, I don't know, they just do a lot of dumb stuff now. Like, I've never understood this, like we were talking about like how kids, like they'll do Molly, Adderall, Xanax, weed, wax, and cocaine in school, and I'm like, why though? Like, what's the point? And I don't understand it. I don't.
Escapism. Apparently, there's something about it they don't like. Anybody that does that kind of that kind of heavy a drug, especially coke, at school,
Yeah.
says they got issues.
Like, I remember I would
Officers
watch
report.
people in class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch people cut up pills or they get the powder out, and they would sniff it on their desk, and I'd be like, "What? Like, where? The teacher's right there, bro." And they're like, "I don't care." And I'd be like, "I ain't worried, man. Like, you got this. Like, kill it. I don't
That
know."
star has intel. Hurry.
But it was, I don't know. It was just kind of weird, cause like it's kind of weird, you know. You're like, like if someone's doing like drugs like that, they're like, I don't want no one to see. They're like, And the kid was like, fuck it, like, I don't care, like,
They were on a
fuck her.
rescue mission. We've got captives.
I would just sit there and be
It's
like,
up
man,
to
you're
us
crazy,
now.
bro. Like, eventually, he got kicked out. I think he went to jail, but I mean, it's life, it happens. But I knew a lot of kids like that. Even like my last year of sophomore year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and my buddies, we took some Xanax, right? And we gave this girl was like, hey, I want some. We're like, how are you on Xanax? This is like 10 milligrams, like.
That'll knock your ass down.
Yeah, no, she was, oh, I got it. I do Xanax all the time. We were like, okay, bet. We're like, are you sure you want to do this? Because we're sitting there, and we took like two squares each. We didn't do the whole bar, because we were still in school. So, all right, we're going to like mellow out, you know, we're going to chill, just like be loopy. Well, no, I wasn't loopy. They were loopy, but I was, because I took Ritalin, so it just mellowed me out, made me more relaxed and chill. But she takes it, right? She takes it. She almost fell down like 4 times. And another 3 times while sitting in a chair. And we're holding her up and we're like, hey, like, why'd you lie to us? And she was like, I want to be cool. And we're like, it's not cool to lie. Because you can get hurt while doing this stuff. You can.
Yeah, you can fall down, crack your head, and there you go, dead.
Yeah, there's that, but also, like, you know, like, if your body's not used to it, it can shut down. You can, you know, I don't know, like, there's something bad, right? And we're just staring at her like, you realize you've ruined, like, our mellowness? And she's like, what do you mean? Like, now we have to babysit you until lunchtime, because after that, you're going home. And she was like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're going to want to go home. Like, you're going to pass out. But it was funny, though, because she did eventually pass out. She didn't go to school the next day. Well, she didn't go to the summer. We did a bunch of summer stuff that day. She didn't go. She was like, nope. But it's pretty funny that she like lied about taking Xanax. She's like, oh yeah, I do it all the time. Like, no, you lied. Can't hang.
Why did she lie?
I don't know. I mean, maybe she liked one of us or something. I don't know. Maybe she thought like if she was doing Xanax, like maybe she could ask one of us out. She was a cool chick. She was. She was a small girl. She was like 4'8", 4'9". Skinny. She was cool.
Doesn't it ever
But,
make
I
you
mean-
wonder? It's like how much pretense a person has. Why would they pretend so hard?
Yeah, I really don't know. But yeah, I mean, what type of stuff did you do when you were in school? And like when people, did you ever do drugs when you were in school?
Nope.
All right, cool.
I didn't do any drugs. I didn't smoke any cigarettes. Nothing. No whippets, no helium, no nothing. I did a lot of endorphin stuff. A lot of rappelling, a lot of rope climbing. I mean, I was physically active. At one point in time, I was fucking. I could pretty much still swim 7 miles every day. I mean,
Oh
hardcore.
yeah, I remember that. You told me about that.
I was a hardcore swimmer. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. My brothers, but mainly my older brother, taught me how to be my own independent person, meaning that if push comes to shove and I got abandoned somewhere and it was just me in the middle of nowhere, I could survive anything. Anything.
Yeah.
And that's something that's lost. That kind of rugged
That is
individualism is lost.
Yeah. Cause like I've noticed like people. Like, I was a Boy Scout, right? I achieved like first class
Yeah.
or something. And I joined it when I was I think 16. I don't know. I joined it when I was like 16
Yeah.
or something. But I mean, for what I achieved, I got my arrow of light. I was like, I forget. I gotta bring out the book. I think I still have it. And I was basically a good rank for what I was when I started. For when I left, I basically achieved a lot. And I've noticed a lot of people aren't Boy Scouts no more.
Nope.
Like, even when it was a thing before all the lawsuits happened.
Yeah. Well, my let's see. One of my really good friends, Todd, God rest his soul. Loved your brother, always will, always have. He was an Eagle Scout.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And he was like, I mean, apparently that's as high as you can get as an Eagle
Yeah,
Scout.
that's like the top. That's like commander in chief.
Yeah. So basically, me and him were joking about it. I was like, so, what did they teach you in being an Eagle Scout? He said, well, they taught me how to tie knots. I could tie people up and they can't get out of it. And I was like, okay. And we were talking about like ropes and like what else they teach you? I can kill things. I can hunt. I can trap, hunt, camp. He's like, I can do all kinds of cool stuff that nobody else, most people can't do. And it's true. Most people can't do this shit today. They can't.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Like even I was never an Eagle Scout. I can never achieve that rank because of my age. Once you turn 18, you're done. That's it.
Yeah.
And but I know how to do some of that stuff too. But it's weird. Like I remember I went camping with someone, right? And I sleep in the tent sometimes, but mainly now I just bring a camping bag and I sleep outside in the wilderness. And people, my friend, he came with us, right? And then they bring an RV and like, we're going camping too. I'm like, that's not camping. And they're like, what? And I'm like, no, that's not camping. That's you're at home. Cause they legit like no fire, no nothing. I'm like, you guys know how to start a fire? And some people like doing the sticks and stuff. I use magnesium. That's what I use. Like flint and steel, but I use magnesium. And
I have one of those. I have a fire starter.
yeah. But I've noticed a lot of people, like I gave it to some kid, right? I'm like, here, start a fire. He didn't know how to use it. He was like, what do you do with it? I'm like, you shave some magnesium off, and then you strike it in a pile of tinder that you make with your knife, and then you build it like a teepee, but you don't ever stuff it. And he was like, huh? I'm like, what? Like, you don't know? He was like, and this kid's been camping for a couple of months throughout his whole life, right?
Yeah.
He's got some decent time under his belt, and he's never made a fire. And I was like, you got all this time and you've never made a fire? He's like, no, like we use gasoline. I'm like,
oh no.
And a
no,
lighter?
no,
He's
no.
like, yeah. I'm like, what? I'm like, you do that for dinner or something, but like, if you just want like have a good old fashioned style, you just flint and steel.
Kindling.
Or, yeah, other stuff. And it was weird because he didn't know, so I taught him, right? And he was like, this is the best thing ever. Like, this is cool. And I'm like, yeah, like, this is regular, like, stuff. Like, common sense, kind of. And he was, it was confusing because he was fascinated about it. Like a lot of people are today. Like, I tell people, like, yo, like, do you know how to sharpen knives? And, like, you know how to go fishing? You know how to, like, load guns, unload guns? You guys know how to do any of this stuff? And they're like, no, like, why would I need to know that? I'm like, I don't know, like, you get lost or something, like, it's just old stuff, because this is things people used to, like, when your generation, this is, like, top thing you guys were doing back then, like, building stuff, fishing a lot, hunting.
Yeah, and see, that's the
Like,
thing, too, we didn't have a lot of what everybody else would think. But what everybody else thinks,
Yeah.
We didn't have all this technology. We didn't.
Yeah.
Are you here to get me out?
We didn't have technology like that. We had, we didn't have anything. We had ourselves, tools, and imagination. It's also with that imagination that we were able to get video games where they're at. Because without our generation, video games, it would not exist.
Yeah, that's for sure a high thing. They wouldn't be like they are.
Yeah, so when people doubt the generations of what we've done, or what the generations before them have done, they just need to remember something. A lot of things have changed. And if it wasn't for the
Yeah.
generation before that, you wouldn't have the technology
Another
you
one.
have now.
This won't be easy.
I don't know
For
if
sure.
anybody else realizes that, but
Don't give in. We need that
okay.
key.
So
The
like, you
star
know the
must
weird
have
thing,
it.
like you remember skirts that are short and
Skorts.
all this, yeah, skirts.
Yeah.
Like people, like I'm watching all this stuff, right? I mean, my dad taught me about this stuff, but I'm watching all this stuff, right? People are like, oh, it's a new trend. I'm like, it's not a new trend. Like, this stuff's been out for like decades, man. Like, this isn't new. And they're like, no, it's new. And I'm like, no, it's not new. This stuff's been out for a while. And it's amazing to see like old stuff come back. It is.
Yes. Well, and what's old is new again. That's, the old saying in fashion. What's old is new again, and that's really what's been going on with fashion.
Yeah, especially fashion. You know what's weird though? You remember MP3 players?
Yeah.
They're coming back now. Like, people are like, oh, I love iPods. I'm like, that's what an MP3 player is. Like,
There we go.
that's basically what it is. Like, people are getting back into that for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, because the cell phone has it all. But I mean, I use my cell phone mainly for
They're making a
phone,
retreat. The
text,
fort will be
call,
happy with this news.
GPS. But I mean, it's weird. People are like, I want a cell phone, I want a tablet, I want a computer, and I want an iPod. I'm like, why? Like, you have that all in one already. Like, other than having the computer, like, totally different.
Well, like I said, I use my phone for multi-purpose. Samsung sponsor me. Thank you. Love you. Anyway.
The video, hashtag Samsung.
Go to www.samsung.com. Samsung.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like the only thing that's not Samsung that I own, which is funny, is my netbook.
And your Xbox.
Oh, yeah, Xbox. It's Xbox. Who cares? Who cares? It's Xbox. But no, I mean, it's just the way it works, the way of the world. Like I said, technology, it's getting more advanced, it's getting more interesting. For everybody that doesn't understand that, that's the next thing that's going to happen. More technology.
I think the main thing people are talking about VR. I'm really scared about VR, kind of. I really
Why?
am. Because, like, people already sit at home, right? And they play games and other stuff, all that. But I mean, like, because people are talking about, like, this is cool, we're an M-rated podcast, right?
Yeah.
People are talking about, like, porn VR, and like, just living in VR, like, all day, every day. And I mean, like, it's unhealthy because there's real people in the world who just order out every single day. Hashtag not hating on people order every single day out to eat. But, like, they just sit there on VR every single day. And they talk to people like, this is real life. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, because some people just sit there every single day on VR and they just play. And, like, they think it's real life. And it'd be scary. Like, you remember on the movie Ready Player One?
Yes.
It's gonna be like that if it's gonna get huge. It's gonna be like that for sure.
Well, and that's the
And
problem
that would be scary.
when people are going to be that, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, that's right. Oh, so lost and in their own universe about stuff, it's just not going to matter.
Yeah.
That's no good. No bueno. No bueno. We have become a lost.
So about this generation gap again, let's go back to that. A new big gap is people. How can I say this? I don't know how to say it, man. Like, people talk, like, the child hitting, like people talking about like not hitting children and stuff. How do you see like if a person is abusing their child, right?
Okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about spanking your child or disciplining your
Yeah,
child.
yeah, like
Okay?
that. Like, I didn't know how to say it without sounding mean to like the soft Skittles. You know, I didn't know how to say it without being mean.
I don't have to be to just say it. I mean, let's be honest about this. We're not. Hopefully by now people should understand that you and I aren't little pussy bitches that are going to sit here and kowtow to everybody's little what they want.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, why are we doing this? I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fucking kowtow to any one person's belief or anything like that. I'm just saying. Grown up, not a little kid. So,
Yeah.
and just so everybody knows this, I'm entitled to my own opinion, so don't go into this whole, I don't want to hear any backlash about, oh no, I'm wrong, or no. I'm entitled to an opinion, and that's what this is about, having an opinion.
I just want to say one thing, guys. This is our podcast. You came to view it. I mean, if you don't agree with everything we said, that's good. It's life. You don't have to like it, but enjoy the content.
Yeah, because it's not what you guys expect. I'm a firm believer in beating your kid. Let me just say it out
Back to what
loud.
you were saying about it.
I'm a firm believer in beating my kid. If I ever saw my kid acting up or doing fucked up shit like that, I would beat my kid in the next Sunday.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree with that.
I don't care what anybody else says, I'm beating that kid. Because, you know what? If you don't start teaching them...
What the hell? Did the cataclysm cause this damage?
This survey beacon
If
should
you
be able
don't
to tell
start
us something.
doing stuff now, and you don't start teaching your children how to behave, and you don't teach them what's right or wrong, and you sit them down in front of a video game, or you sit them down in front of a computer or the TV set, they're going to have some kind of smug sense of idea what they think is right and wrong. What they think is right and wrong is not necessarily true. And that's where we're going to go into that a little later. But, like I said, everybody's kids are at fault for some kind of fucked up shit. And it's going to get worse too, because why? We know this already. Parents aren't really paying too much attention to their kids these days. You give them a tab, you know what? No, here's my thing too. What the hell does a 6-year-old have or need with a $2,000 iPhone? Anybody, or a $1,000 iPhone? Anybody want to explain that shit to me?
I honestly, I don't even get that either. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I had a phone, right? I had a flip phone. But I mean, if you didn't use it like we do today, it's like, and I'm a part of the new generation. But I had a flip phone, right? People are like, oh, you have a flip phone? Like, haha, I'm like, it's made to call and text my dad. Like, I don't have to talk to you people. Like, it's emergencies right here.
Right.
And now it's like, a kid has a phone. He's like, fuck you, bitch, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna play on my phone. It's like, no, dude, what? Like, kids over here going like what is it? It's like, what, like $50 a month or whatever? I don't know, like, the limits and stuff. I pay for unlimited data. But I mean, like, I hear one time, right, I was watching this TV show, and this guy's daughter, right, she goes over like $300 on the cell phone bill, right? And the mom is saying like, well, you shouldn't punish her. So she's just trying. He's like, what? I shouldn't punish her? Like, that's $300 over the cell phone bill. Like, what? He's like, no, we're taking the phone away. She's getting grounded. No car. And the mom was sitting there like, you can't tell our daughter that. Like, you're mean. He's like, how's she gonna learn that like money doesn't grow? And he's like, we have money, but he's like, I work for it. Like, it's not for free.
So yeah, I mean, but you're hearing what you're saying there, right?
Yeah.
That whole self-entitlement, child, all of that stuff. It just makes you wonder, like, okay, why? Why are you letting your kids get away with that? That doesn't make any sense to me. None of it does. Why would you let your kid get away with that? Why?
I couldn't tell you why. Like, I remember I was dating this one chick, right? And I was telling you about her, like her kid. I wouldn't mind the kids crying, right? But when you're crying over an hour, and it's like, hey, you need to stop. And they're crying over like, you know, like, oh, I want a purple spoon. I need more ice cream. I want less ice cream. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like,
Shouldn't they be happy with what they're getting? I mean, when
yeah,
you
no,
know,
like the main thing that would catch me off guard was like they would cry over the petty stuff. Like this spoon isn't the color I want. I'm like, dude, you're 3, you're 4. Like, who? I had a couple colors. Maybe I had silver. I swear. I don't know. What I have, I have silver. And they would cry over that, right, for a long time. And they would and I would watch these kids, right. So one time, the boy kicked the daughter in the face, right? Punched her, kicked her in the face. And the woman I was with was like, hey, like, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna, she was basically saying, like, I'm not gonna do anything about it other than tell him, like, no. And I'm like, and he did it like 2 times that day. And I'm like, hey, like, you need to, like, hit him, something, like, talk to him. I don't know. It was new. It was very new to parenting. It was very weird. But it was weird because she was like, I don't hit my kid. I won't ever do it. And I'm like, well, your kid's over here, like, saying, fuck you, bitch, fuck you, hitting people, kicking people, this, that. I'm like, no, like, I wasn't raised like that. Like, if you hit someone, especially your sister in the face and she doesn't deserve it, oh, you getting an ass whooping or something. You getting some type of discipline. But she wouldn't do that, right? So these kids, like, legit. And I was telling her one day, I'm like, what are you gonna do if this kid or her hit someone in school and knock out a tooth, make them bleed? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, they could sue you for that, like, you know? She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, they can sue you for that. The other parents,
yeah, I'm really surprised
parents,
more of that does not happen, by the way, in case if they're wondering.
Yeah, no, it's weird, like, you go first.
No, I mean, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense why, you know, like when we were growing up, our parents were responsible for us. If we did anything jacked up, we were gonna, you know.
You don't pay for it.
Yeah, and not only were we gonna pay for it, but not only were we gonna pay for it, but boy, we were gonna get our ass beaten.
Yeah.
So.
But I remember back on the day when Devin was like, people, like, it was a lot more suing in school than there is today, I think.
No, there's more suing in school now. If you know, here's the thing. This is the other thing. I'm gonna say it out loud. All right. Anybody that records another kid getting beat. So everybody wants to see this. Anyone that wants to understand what I couldn't see a reason for it. I couldn't see why they would do it. Record another kid getting beat. What, so they can get views, so they can get paid?
Especially like a little kid.
Well, yeah, what about the one where the kid, they were beating up on the kid and the kid fell down, hit his head, now he's dead.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. There's a whole thing on it, but I believe that was on the news actually a while. There was a couple.
There's a few of them that happened like that. There was one that happened where they recorded him. They recorded the kid. They got in a fight. They recorded the kid getting. They recorded the kid getting beat up, and then they made a bunch of money off of it. And I'm like thinking, well, wait a minute here. How is that even possible? Dude, really, bro? Really? Sorry, my dog's just whining. Dude, you're a whiny little bitch, bro. You're an 80-pound pit bull.
Dog's like, Mom, I need
Why are
love.
you
Come
talking?
on.
Why are you talking so much? I think it's more along the lines of that. You should be in bed and we should be humping. My dogs like to bang each other. Sorry.
Dog's like, look, woman, you're going past my schedule. I've been planning this for weeks. It's my day to go.
Fucking dogs. Yeah, literally fucking dogs. Haha. See there? See what I did there?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of interesting shit, but you know. All right. So beating kids, I'm down with it. You feel? What do you feel about beating your kids?
I feel like we should discipline our kids, but we should for sure like like 3, 6, whatever. It depends on what they've done. It does. But if it's something that they repetitively do, it's like no, like here's an ass whooping. Like I remember getting backhanded as a kid a lot. I did. It happened. I got in trouble. But I mean, it took that, and I mean, where I'm at now, I'm like, hey, I've come a long way. Got some more together. Compared to people who don't get hit at all, you tell someone, who was it? You remember a couple years ago, there was this kid, after he was at a bar or something, he pulled a gun on someone. I forget what it was about, but this kid, like, he was talking about him, right? He was never disciplined and stuff, and they were just going to town and like, why would he do that? He has all this money. It's like, because he thinks from what the lifestyle he had when he was growing up, he was never disciplined and stuff, that he can do anything he wants.
Oh
Get
yeah,
away
yeah,
with
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, it's the
Ye-
what was it? It was the I can't. It's the white. It's not the white privilege. It was the one that, the one that he just thought that's how the world went. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, I know what you're talking
It's
about.
not
Yeah,
the
but
white
anyways,
privilege kid. That's another different one. He murdered somebody. The white privilege kid is the one that murdered somebody and then ran away.
yeah, there's 3 of them, and I forget the last guy though. Like he at the bar. He was at a bar or something, right? And he pulled out a gun, but it wasn't loaded. But the guy got him, took him down, waited for the police. But for every time that he fired the trigger, it was a lifetime sentence. I think he fired it like 3 or 4 times. But it's like I see it a lot of kids who aren't disciplined. Like they're way more crazy, way more than kids who are like when you're hit by your parents and they're like, hey, like you do this again, and next time it's gonna be worse. You're like, I don't ever want to do that shit again. Like, no. And then you have the kids' parents like, oh look here, I'm gonna tell you, if you do that again one more time, I swear. And I swear it becomes like 9,000 times. And it's like, what are you gonna do? You haven't done anything. And they get used to it, like, oh, my mom's not gonna do anything, she's not gonna hit me. My mom loves me, like, I'm a god.
Shit, my mom will get me. I'm not scared. My mom would beat me the next Sunday. There's no secret about that.
Now, you know it's weird, like, people, so when I tell people about my dad, right, like, I told you, he's like more hardcore, kind of. He would talk to me first, and he'd be like, now you realize I'm still gonna have to hit you, right? And I'm like, why? And he'd be like, because you're gonna learn. Like, we talked about it. So, like, when I was serious, I'd be like, you're gonna learn. You're gonna have to learn. And I was like, man. And he hits hard. He does. Like, he would. Got a heavy hand. But it would be, I don't know, it just people aren't used to that now, I guess. Like, they're not used to, like, beatings or whatever.
Oh, they need more beatings.
You're off.
More beatings, more corporal punishment. Maybe people will learn. No, I'm not gonna.
Possibly.
Oh, you hear him?
Yeah, I hear the dogs growl. They're like,
My dog
no,
says.
Mom, no.
No, they want to go potty. They don't want me to take them out to the toilet. He's making the snuffly noises. Maybe they
Oh,
don't.
yeah, for sure.
They're just dogs. Dogs.
Dogs being dogs. But I mean, I'm all for it. Like, hit your kids, just don't abuse them.
Well, okay.
You know?
So there is such a thing as abuse. You know, hitting your kid one too many times, abuse. But
No, yeah, I remember like growing up, right? Like I would do something bad. One day, like my mom, I don't know what happened. I don't remember what I did, but she just lost it, right? Like she was hitting me with the belt, but she was going for like 20 minutes, And I was like, in my head, I'm like, man, I must have really fucked it. I was crying. And I was bawling my eyes out. And my dad comes home and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like she's been hitting me for like 20 minutes. He's like, yo, you need to stop it. My mom's Mexican. She's more old school. She's like, no, he gonna learn. Like she was hitting me, my brother and sisters, and I was like, I don't remember what we did. I don't. But all I know is like that, like other than that one time, that was the only time I really ever got abused from being punished. I guess you can call it abuse. I don't know what to call it. I mean, it was a beating. It was.
Well, I mean, we all were subject to some kind of. Let's be honest about it here. No one is without getting their ass beat as a kid.
Oh, for sure.
Circus.
Playing video. You know, there's a lot of games. Something happened. You think we should tell them about what was happened? Or should we not tell them about that?
Which part?
You know, remember the kid with Gucci?
Oh, the little minor kid coming in and raising Cain, and he was basically just being a complete total twit. And he was a minor, he was like 11-year-old kid, and he had 3 Xbox accounts. Mind you.
No. He said he was 12 and a half.
Oh, excuse me, 12 and a half.
12 and a half.
12 and a half does not give you the right to treat someone like trash.
Yeah, it's not at all. But I mean, that was pretty. I'm 12 and a half. We're like, oh, I remember that. You remember growing up? I'm 12 and a half. I'm not just 12, I'm and a half. But yeah, go on.
12 and a half, my butthole.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah, I mean, should we tell them about that? About like the whole thing?
Sure.
So, if you guys know by following me, we have one friend or like associate, yeah. That he's a furry. We play with him. He's a decent, cool guy. And this kid seen my YouTube video about playing. What was it like? Playing with the furry. It was on Call of Duty, and so this kid joins us, right? And he's just laying into him. He's talking shit. He's like furry. What was he saying? Like furry should die, or what was he saying?
He was saying that there was something wrong with him for being a furry. Yeah, furry should die. All this stuff. Okay, so here we go. First of all, I have my reservations about the furry kid to begin with, but he seems cool. Alright, not gonna dog him. But the only thing I can see is that kid just relentlessly kept coming into our party. Different handles. Now, I did have that party, just so everybody knows this, I did have that party locked down. Invite only, so yeah. I don't know how he kept getting in.
I know how. Remember I told you how the furry kept inviting him. I was like, yo, stop inviting the kid. Like, he's like, no, I want to talk to him. I'm like, no, you don't want to. Stop it.
Why?
I don't know why. I really don't.
To be honest with you, no, I'm not going to go there, but I'm just going to say this, okay? Whatever was going on, it's weird.
Yeah.
And we should not have been subjected to that, I guess, is what it boils down to.
Yeah, we shouldn't have had to have our mind, I guess, open, kind of? From that little kid, like, about what you were talking about?
Yeah, well, and then on top of the fact that he was like he's a little kid cussing. Okay, so here's the unfairness of Xbox. We sit there and get badgered, belittled, and called everything but a white man by a little 12-year-old kid. We say something to defend ourselves that's slightly heated, we get banned from Xbox. So, yeah, I'm not down with that no more. I don't think it's cool. And I think that's kind of bullshitty. That kind of fuckery needs to stop from Xbox. Yeah, I said Xbox.
I know. I was like, eh. Trying to play some jokes.
Yeah, but that's my point, though. I mean, what do they expect?
Yeah.
I mean, what do they expect us to do? To sit there and take it? To be somebody's bitch?
Nah.
Yeah,
Most definitely
nah. Sorry. Mom didn't raise no fools. And sometimes I wish she did. It might have made life easier if I was blind.
not. I'm blind. I have a lazy eye.
Nah, no, you don't. You're a liar.
No, I have a lazy eye.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Pixar didn't happen, bro.
Pictures right in there. I don't know. I mean, when we go, I guess when we go to like go to the DMV and read some letters, and we be like, "Oh, you are blind." I'm like, "Yeah." But it's weird. I can't pass the eye exam, but I can drive illegally. I've test driven, and I can drive perfectly fine. I just need to work on my brakes. It's weird. Like I thought I'd be more scared of the cars and moving. I just need to work on my brakes. The main thing. But where's I going with this?
Squirrel.
Dog.
Squirrel.
Ah, we went to lazy driver. Yeah, I mean, I have a lazy driver. Yeah.
Hey, look, Gavinator wants in on this hot shit.
Gavinator wants to hop in.
Yeah, Gavinator!
He wants to hop in our party right now.
Yeah, we're bringing the Gavinator in.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
a-
dude, we talked to him about that because he's also part of a whole different gap.
Yeah, he's also
compared
part
to
of a whole
me.
different generation.
Yeah.
I did lock that in, right? I did lock the party down, didn't I?
Yeah, I believe so. Here, I'll invite him.
I did already.
Okay.
If you didn't join us, that's on him.
That was like, I want in on this podcast. This seems cool. Damn, we've been having this podcast for 53 minutes. You know that?
Yeah, we can keep talking about whatever, dude.
No, I know that. But I'm like, damn, that's a lot. I didn't even
Well, I
realize
mean,
it's
if you
been that
think
long. I thought
about
it was shorter.
everything, that's how much we've been, there's a lot of gap. I mean, beating, not beating, political affiliations, here we go. There we go. Let's dig deep in this shit, shall we?
I'm down.
Okay, as a scientist, alright? As a scientist, there are two genders.
Same here. Hold up, wait. I'm with you on that. I believe all in that. Like, no, I don't believe in everything. But that's the one thing I do. I'm like, there's male and female. That's all I
Okay,
believe in.
everybody when you're born either has a penis or a vagina. Unless, and let me stipulate this because there are people that have a vagina and a penis. However, if you have a vagina and an enlarged clitoris that looks like a penis, okay? You do not have testicles and they're up inside, therefore they are ovaries, so you are technically a woman. Now,
Tell him, sister.
now here we go. Now, okay, this is kind of the joke that me and another person made up. And mind you, I am not transphobic, I am not genderphobic, I am not against the LGBTQ, whatever community it may be. I was raised by gay parents.
Same here.
I was raised by lesbians. I have family members that are gay and as well as transgendered. So let me just put it out to you like this. If you pee through your large clitoris or your penis, you are a man. Because you're, as a woman, everybody knows that the plumbing is separated from the genitalia. Boom. Male,
Yeah, I agree with
female.
that. Yeah.
This whole they, them, non-binary. Alright, let me just clarify this for you.
Yeah.
We've given these kids too much leeway and we need to reel it back. Period. That's like
Yeah,
saying
you know what I'm very confused about though
what?
is you have dogs, right? I have cats, you have dogs, we have
Mm-hmm.
animals. Kids are now like writing on cars. They're like, oh, he, they, and they're making their animals like their animals. They put like a bunch of treats on papers, right?
Yeah.
And whatever the animal goes to first, like there's a kid, right? He had like they, he like they, we, he slash him, she, this, all that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And the dog just went to whichever one he wanted for treat.
Yeah.
And the kid was like, "Oh my god, my dog was a boy, but now he's a they slash him slash
All right. So
heterosexual slash."
they
I'm like,
do
"What the
understand the
fuck?"
dog
Like,
does not read, right?
yeah, I was like, you don't know. In my head, I'm like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And they're like, "I'm choosing. My dog's choosing their pronouns and this," and I'm like, "No, your dog's choosing the treat on the paper, like." I
Let
didn't
me
know how
put it
else
to you
to
this
say it
way.
to this guy.
When you go to the hospital and they look up underneath that sheet and they see what if you got lady parts or boy parts, that is your gender.
Yeah. The podcast, Gavin. Welcome.
You walked into us discussing the generation
The
gap.
great old. Yeah, we're in the generation gap.
So,
You know, remember when we were talking about? Wait. Remember how we were talking about kids being beat? Gavin, how do you feel about kids being beat by their parents?
discipline, not beat.
Oh yeah,
Discipline.
discipline. Discipline.
Nope. I'm pretty sure if you're being brushed by an ambulance someplace, you're not gonna tell them, call me they and them.
That'd be so funny though, like
I mean,
ambulance
let's
getting
just
rushed.
let's
Oh,
just
please
destroy
stop
all that
it.
because that is just such ridiculousness. 100% bona fide ridiculousness. Well, no. Now we're going to go into that transgender children when they're children and they don't know and they're being confused by everything because they're children they don't know. And I keep telling everybody that. I said, there is such a thing as going too far. Let them mature into an adult. Let their brain mature. Because as what happened with one person who was a female and started to go to a male and stopped, and she did it for a year, so she took all the male hormones and stuff like that, right? And then she realized she was making a mistake. Now, she was 15 when she started doing this. Guess what? She destroyed her female hormones because of it. She will not ever be the same person again. And because she did it when she was so young. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Let us discuss like the biology behind all this stuff when you were taking all the hormones and stuff like that. Okay? Either you go either way. If you go male to female, female to male, and you wreck yourself as a teenager or a child, don't remember. It's going to come back to haunt you as you get older. It will. You need a balance of both. Okay. Women have, but we have progesterone, we have testosterone, we have estrogen. Men have the same thing too. Too much testosterone in males causes baldness. Too much estrogen in men causes boobies, man boobies, which is not unheard of, and lactation, men can lactate. Now, in a women have the same thing. Too much testosterone in a woman makes us hairier, make us grow hair on our face. When you hit menopause as a woman, you get a mustache and a beard. That's what happens when you start hitting menopause. Period. That's how you can tell a woman. As a woman, you can tell a woman does not have any more estrogen in her body, and basically the raisins have dried up on the vine there, meaning that she's no longer producing She's no longer producing, no longer having a period. Okay? As soon as that's all dried up in there, she's gonna get a beard and a mustache.
No longer will the hateful day come up. Is it that month again?
But I mean, but you have to look at it from that concept, you guys, of the fact that when they're doing it to children, you're messing up body
Oh yeah,
chemistry.
it's totally different.
You're fucking with it. No.
I didn't see that.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Remember, Michelle and what's the dude's name? Conrad Jr. Okay. Remember, she kept telling him to kill himself. There's precedent now in the law set that bullying someone into or coaxing someone into suicide is felony. So that is something that, his parents may want to pursue. I'm just saying. Because that's like one of those things where it's like, you can't do that. Never in my lifetime, we've said shit to kids. I mean, we've all said it. Why don't you go die? Right? Right? We've said that. Everybody said that at some point. I wish you were dead, whatever. But they never went out and did it. And usually 90% of the time after you said, I wish you'd go die, you're like half an hour later, man, I didn't mean it, dude. I'm like, fucking dude, I thought about it. I don't want you dead. I just want you to suffer. There's a lot of thought process behind it. That's another thing, too. Kids kill each other now. They get knives and all kinds of crazy ass shit to kill each other. They don't even fucking talk about it or even fucking try to fight it out with their fists. They just go get a gun or a knife or something and go kill them. Define idiot.
He's a retard. I can say that.
What did you do? Okay, now was that purposeful? Okay, then that was an accident. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's an accident.
But I mean,
I'm not suicidal.
Yeah, right. Right.
Right, Gavin, right.
Right. But then okay, so let's go back to the topic we were discussing, which is this whole male hate crap that people are producing. Alright, let me just explain. Okay, now we'll go into this whole Me Too shit. Oh, this is gonna hate, some women are gonna hate on me for it. Oh, they are.
Wait, before we do that, you know what I noticed? I told you, remember now I told you about those girls for the video? They're making a video, right? And they're like, we went to the club. There's like 3 or 4 different women. They're in their group. They went to the club, right?
Oh yeah, and they went. No man would buy them a drink.
Because these women were telling like, oh, I'm insane, but lesbian groups, other women, TikTok, all this stuff, and saying like, hey, if you go up to a girl at a bar and you talk to her like you're a creep, pedo, this, that, and it was making people very uncomfortable to talk to women at lots of places. And they're like, fuck it, like, I guess I'm gonna die alone. Like, I mean, how do you feel if you're a guy or whatever, you want to call yourself? You go to talk to a woman or whoever, and someone calls you, oh, you're a pedo, and you're like, what? Or you're like, you're a rapist, and you're like, wait, what are you talking about? And they're like, you're trying to talk to me. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to flirt with you. I don't see no ring on your finger, like.
You're flirting with them, and they consider, they're okay. So here we go. This is where we're going with. So hear me out on this, okay? The whole Me Too generation. Let's go into this, and then we'll go into the whole concept of about feminism. All right. So, okay. First of all,
You're doing well.
I'm
Calm
gonna say
down.
this out loud, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it. Those
That's
those
sauce.
girls, those girls that went with Epstein. If you guys watch their interviews, they went with Epstein willingly. Hold on, willingly, knowing that they were utilizing his status
Don't
and
listen to
money
him. We
as
don't
a
need the
step. Every last
interference.
single one of them said it. Think about it. Said that they were utilizing it, but the money was good. How can you sit there and no one pushed you in that car?
There we go. Almost done.
You are not held at gunpoint to go with these people. You went with these people on the guise that you were going to
They had a
utilize
fragment for the
their
Arcanist. Scars
coattails,
must have
their
scavenged
fame,
it. Let's
their
take it back.
fortune
We'll see this contract
to
through.
make yourself famous. I think that
Yeah.
there's something fucked up. That whole thing right there is fucked up. There's a couple of them that I feel sorry for. That they were the first two that got
Scar
raped
leader
by
is down. Hopefully
Jeff.
that
I
sends a
can't
message to
by
the rest.
Epstein. I agree. That's rape. Okay. But if you think about it, Candy, those women went with it. Went with this guy. Went with him willingly. All of them did. Even the girls that
Yeah.
were painters. So if they knew that a dangerous stranger didn't feel right, and they thought something was awry, and they thought something was going to go bad, they could have left at any given time. They weren't held captive there. None of them were.
Oh yeah, for sure.
None of them were, except for the fact that when they were on the island, I could see that being a little awkward. But then they could have, made themselves disappear. I mean, it was a fucking island. I mean, it was a small island, but they could have disappeared. But you get what I'm saying to you guys. Like, there's something not right about that when girls, and these are teenage girls. They're not grown-up women. They're not 18 legal age, and they've all said they weren't. Were utilizing their body, how they looked, and everything else like that to progress and populate themselves as prostitutes. I'm just saying. And I mean, I know that sounds pretty fucked up coming from a woman, but that's how I see it. Well, then we'll go into the other one, which is the Weinstein case. Harvey Weinstein. All right. And Bill Cosby, same thing. All these women went knowingly and willingly with these people. First of all, if they knew it was a legitimate deal, why would you go to a man's hotel room with them?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, does
I
a
mean, to have sex.
common sense dictates that if I'm going to a man's hotel room and I'm a grown ass woman, because these were grown ass women with Epstein, why in the fuck would you go there? Why? I mean, why? And don't go into this
The fuck?
coercion shit, or that my career is going to be over with because I didn't bang the old fat man. Because I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm calling bullshit on it. Sorry. Now, so now, Bill Cosby, with all the women going and meeting Cosby at his home or in hotel rooms, the same thing. Now, Cosby shouldn't have Mickey'd their drinks. I'm just saying that. That's just wrong. Roofied them, whatever. That's wrong. But at the same point in time, too, they went willingly to these places. They went willingly and had a drink with this person. If it didn't feel right when you were going there, why would you go?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm starting to see this male scapegoat thing. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some pretty trashy, horrible people out there that do fucked up shit to people. Don't get me wrong. But when you as a woman put yourself in that situation, willingly, what else did you think was going to happen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Excuse me.
But you know what I'm saying, though, right? I mean, do you guys think in any way, shape, or form that I'm wrong with this analogy here? That if somebody, I mean, I've been put in some precarious situations myself, all right? But guess what? I ain't stupid enough to fall for it. Usually I figured out when it got a little weird, I'm like, I'm leaving. Deuces. Just this
Miss,
one.
this is our first one. So you joined when we were at the 50-minute mark? So you missed a whole lot. But I mean, it is, yeah.
You're also young. You know what I'm saying? You're also young. I mean, and that's fine. I tell people this. Maybe this is where having the mind. Here we go. Just having the common sense. Where in the fuck is the common sense in these people? Common sense dictates. And then my question raises, oh, that's right. There's not a lot of people with common sense. They don't get it. They're clueless and they're stuck in bubbles. Oh my God, bubbles.
Bubble, 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 bubble.
But that's my point, though, gentlemen. I'm a grown-ass woman. Then I see this shit, and I'm like, I don't understand. And you have a degree? And you have a college education? Oh, I bet it must be in the liberal arts, because I guess that's the only way you can succeed. And I'm pretty much 95% right about that, too, which is pretty sad. I'm gonna get some hate on that whole Epstein and Weinstein shit.
So we're gonna get a lot of hate for the E-Day or whatever.
Them.
Call yourself a unicorn. But we're gonna get a lot of hate on Bill Cosby and the other stuff. You know what we're gonna get mostly hate on, I believe? Hate on like you should be able to discipline your children.
I think, you know what? I think that would, you know what? If some of these kids would have gotten beat when they were younger, and I'm gonna say got their ass beat, they would learn respect. Because you know what the generations behind you lack? All your generation lacks, and I'm gonna say it out loud, respect. When's the last time, respect your fucking elders. Respect people that have more knowledge than you, for Christ's sake. You don't fucking know everything.
I don't know, I was raised with that. The only thing I think my generation got from respect when I was growing up with my dad, he was like, respect everyone. He's like, if someone's being a dick, because I don't care how old they are, you can tell them fuck you and go suck a dick. And I'm like, alright, okay.
You can say
if
that.
they're being real.
Yeah.
He's like, if they're being real though, then you just say, okay, you're right, and you just walk away.
Yeah, you can, even if they're just being, even if they're being a dick, saying fuck you and walking away is not really, just walking away is worth the money and the time.
No, yeah, he told me, like, usually just walk away, like, if you want to say fuck you to someone, that's the perfect time to say it. Because, like, you won't get a lot of opportunities to tell them people that. You know what I was really laughing at though? And I don't mean to hate on women or men or they. I don't know what the fuck to call the rest of you fucking unicorns. But yeah, I know it's stupid. I don't know. But I mean, I remember when I was talking to this girl in school, right? And this was in high school, right? In PE. In my last year of PE, right, I took 2 classes because I liked PE. And you guys know the push-up test, the mile test, and all that? And I was mad because there was a guy in my class, right? He was like, you know what? I want to do the push-up test, but I want to do girl push-ups. And they're like, you can't do that. He was like, why not? I identify as a female. I was like, alright, you know, whatever. He identifies as a female. Okay. And it's on his record. They're like, no, you have a man body. You have to do man push-ups. He's like, no. He's like, why don't they get to do man push-ups? And I was like, you know what? Now I don't mean to be a dick, but I'm like, if women want to be exactly like men, every single test should be exactly the same.
True. I remember.
But I mean,
growing up.
there's
I
physical
remember
body.
growing up when we're like, for instance, women are not really the best people that can do pull-ups, right?
Yeah, pull-ups, jumping 6-foot walls.
We
Push-ups.
actually, women have a lower center of gravity, so actually jumping is something women have over men. Remember that.
No, yeah, that's the weird part too. But my teacher, when I was growing up, I was like, no, it's the opposite. And they'd be like, no, and I'm like, no, it's women are really good at jumping, like better than us at that. But it would make me feel mad that girls would be like, girls would have to do less sit-ups, less push-ups, and less everything. And I'm like, hey, like, they're like, well, there's women. I'm like, no, you guys want equality, go do the shit that we do. And they're like, you don't understand. I'm like, yeah, I get it, physically and all this type of stuff. Yeah, but it's like, if you want to be exactly like us, then go do it. Like, I remember, I told you I was in the Boy Scout. So we were gonna have a girl join us, right, Dom? In our Boy Scout team. So they made it before the bunch of everyone got sued. They made it for like universal. So they were gonna change the name from Boy Scouts to something else, right? But we were telling them like, hey, like when this girl comes, like they were just saying like, don't be weird. Cause I was the oldest one there. Everybody else was young, but they're like, just don't be weird. Like when you guys are doing stuff, like, cause we would play sports, get physical and stuff. And we would tell each other like sometimes we're like, hey, like you suck at this, and be like, you have to be more like emotional, caring kind of. I'm like, what the fuck, like, yeah, like she's in the Boy Scouts.
But here's
And
the
we were
thing.
gonna go like
There's the thing, okay? That whole Boy Scout shit is bullshit. That's bullshit.
So yeah, it is. I see it now. I'm like, it's kind of like, eh. What is that noise?
My dog.
Oh. Are you were going on, Dom?
Oh, no, my dogs want everybody to bow down to
No,
them.
you're talking about the Boy Scouts.
Oh,
Yeah.
Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Really? 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 Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, they want to be in the Boy Scouts? Why?
You know, I didn't get it either, right? Like, so there's these girls wanting to be the Boy Scouts, right? But I was like, you understand that, like, when, cause we would tell, like, guys, like, hey, like, you need to have your tent up in, like, 5 minutes, like, made. And with the girl, they'd be like, you have to be a little more, like, accepting and this and that. I'm like, no, like, if I say, hey, you know, can we go make that fire, guys? Let's get this set up, let's get the poles, sweep out the area, like, this isn't like, I'm not feeling well, I'm on my period, like, I'm like, no, like, it's a dick move, it is, but I'd be like, no, like, if she's gonna be in the Boy Scouts, we're gonna treat her like a boy, like, why isn't this done, and this and that, like.
You hear him?
Yeah, he's like, Mom, go to bed,
No.
have a date, you really.
It's not that. He wants to go potty. He's just being...
uh,
You know, I probably should take him out. I'm actually going to take him out. Wait till he gets past this.
yeah, take him out. And we'll see you guys in part 2 of the podcast.
What are we going to do?
We'll
Are we
catch you
going
guys in
to
the
bake?
future.
Are we going to